Welcome. Today we are diving into a really core concept for any business. It's internal rulebook. We're going to break down what a company's constitution is, how it works, and most importantly, what you need to know for that ACCA LW-ENG exam. So let's just jump right in with a big question. Think about a huge company. You've got directors, thousands of shareholders, tons of employees. How on earth do they all stay on the same page? How do you stop it from becoming complete chaos where nobody can agree on anything? Well, the answer is actually in a single, super important legal document. You can think of it as the company's official user manual, or maybe even its DNA. And this document has a name: the Articles of Association. Now, the two most important words there are legally binding. These are not just friendly suggestions. Oh no, the articles are a contract between the company and its shareholders, and also between the shareholders themselves. This is the document that lays down the law on everything from a director's power to a member's rights. So what kind of stuff is actually in this rulebook? Well, pretty much all the big things. It spells out exactly what directors can and can't do. It sets the rules for how board meetings are run. It defines the rights of shareholders, their right to vote or get information. It even covers the nitty-gritty of how to issue new shares or how profits get paid out as dividends. It's the whole framework.
Okay, that sounds really complicated, right? So does every single person starting a new company have to go hire some expensive lawyer to draft this huge, complex document from scratch?
Thankfully, the answer is a big fat no. You see, the law gives us a default, an off-the-shelf set of rules called the Model Articles. When you set up a new limited company, if you don't provide your own custom version, you just get these automatically. It makes the whole process of starting a business way, way easier. So this really shows the two paths you can take. On one side, you have the model articles. They're simple, they're standard, and honestly, they're perfect for the vast majority of new businesses. On the other side, you've got bespoke articles. These are tailor-made for companies with really specific needs, maybe a joint venture or some kind of special shareholder deal. But for that, yeah, you're going to need a lawyer.
But hang on, companies grow and change, right? What happens when those standard rules just don't work anymore? A business evolves, and so its constitution has to be able to evolve with it. So how do you actually go about changing the rules?
This is such a critical point, and for your exam, you absolutely have to know the specific legal way to change the Articles of Association. There's a formal process in place for a very good reason, to make sure the fundamental rules of the company can't just be changed overnight on a whim. Before we look at the steps, you need to get familiar with the main tool for the job, something called a special resolution. See, for everyday business decisions, a simple majority vote, 51% is usually fine. But for something as big as changing the company's constitution, the law sets a much higher bar. You need a supermajority, and that's exactly what a special resolution is. And here's the exact procedure laid out in 4 clear steps. First, someone, either the board or the members, has to formally propose the change. Second, a general meeting for the shareholders has to be called. Third, at that meeting, the vote is held. And finally, if the vote passes, the company has just 15 days to file the new updated articles with Companies House. So what is that higher bar I mentioned? What's the magic number to get a special resolution passed? It's this: 75%. You need a majority of not less than 75% of the votes cast by shareholders. It's a deliberately high hurdle to clear. Okay, let me be absolutely clear here. If you remember one number from this entire explainer, make it this one: the 75% majority needed for a special resolution to change the articles. This is a classic exam question. You'll see it again. So please lock this fact away. It is so important. All right, let's do a quick recap. Let's pull all this together and nail down the essential points you need to walk away with on a company's constitution. So here are the 4 pillars of what we've just covered. Number 1, the articles are the company's main rulebook. Got it. 2, most companies just start with the default model articles. Easy. 3, you can change the articles, but you have to follow a formal process. And 4, that whole process depends on a special resolution, which needs that all-important 75% majority vote. And that brings us to one final really interesting question. If a 75% majority has the power to change the company's most basic rules, well, what's to stop them from passing rules that are unfair to the other 25%? Who protects the minority? And that question, well, it opens up a whole other critical area of company law, one you'll definitely be diving into next.